Good afternoon. My name is Robert Devine. I'm responsible for economic and political strategy at Amelia Bishop Consulting. And the owner of Amelia Bishop Consulting is with me this afternoon. I'm going to ask her a few questions about the setting up of the Brexit business at Amelia Bishop Consulting. Amelia, good afternoon.
Hello, Bob.
Hi. Can you tell me, first of all, what was your motivation in setting up the Brexit Centre and working with companies to help them through the business implications of Brexit?
Okay, well, it's predominantly comes from my background. So prior to setting this shape of the company up in 2016, I worked by and large with a lot of corporate organisations, either as a business architect or analyst and managing change. So we voted out of the EU, and I thought, how on earth are businesses going to manage their way through the colossal change that this will bring?
Mhm.
So that was my primary motivation for it, mainly because of my business background and managing change.
Okay.
Understanding businesses in different sectors, you soon become aware of the differences in change that different sectors will face. So if you're a construction company, it soon became apparent from the fall in the pound that materials would get dearer instantly.
Mhm.
You know, if you're looking to ship in bricks and roof tiles and,
Mhm.
you know, different construction products. If you're a hospitality company, then you've got the potentially a bigger staffing issue. Maybe construction has as well with foreign workers. But we all know how the vote to leave affected foreign workers in this country.
Mhm.
You know, they felt unwanted. They weren't sure what their future was going to be. So over the last sort of 18 months, more and more have been leaving, which has left us with very low available resources for the different sectors. Hospitality is not just about, you see an awful lot of foreign or EU colleagues, if you like, working in hospitality. But a lot of the products that they use for the dishes as well, and the produce, they come in from Europe and around the world, you know, depending on the type of restaurant it is. And then you move to farming. I mean, that's different again. They're very reliant on their agricultural colleagues, if you like, coming over for the seasonal type of work that they have. And again, you know, it's how do you address these shortfalls in people and rising costs was the initial thinking, you know.
So you think that leaving the European Union is going to create a huge change management business transformation issue, and that companies really now should be doing contingency planning, identifying where their company could be affected and what risks they might face, and putting in place mitigation of those risks and so on.
Well, absolutely. I mean, if you think about our personal lives, just using moving house as an example, we're quite meticulous when it comes to planning a house move because we know that if we don't contact the telecoms provider, the energy providers, the TV satellite providers or whatever, we know that when we move, we're going to be without some key services. You know, we make sure that we've got all the boxes labelled right so it makes life easier when we get there to pack the plates in a certain cupboard, the saucepans in a different cupboard, and so on, you know. So when it comes to planning a house move, we articulate it quite well, and we have a plan or a tick list, you know, that we work through. Quite often in business, especially in smaller businesses rather than the corporates, not everybody knows how to manage change that well for a successful conclusion. You know, we can all manage change.
And you can help them with this.
Well, absolutely, because that's our background by and large.
Right.
And from a practical perspective with Brexit and what does this mean for business, it's all about, it's simply put, managing change. Now, change is a temporary state. We have our normal now. We go, something happens and we have to implement a change. And soon after it's implemented, we're back to normal. So change is a temporary phase that you just need to manage well,
Right.
to make sure that the change is successful as it can be. In business, you don't want to, if you don't manage change so well, it could affect your supply chain. It could affect your customers. And the last thing you want to do with any change is affect your customers. Yeah?
Absolutely.
Excuse me. So, you know, there is a lot to it. Also, you know, in the situation that we're in now, from a country perspective and business, you need to think about what the competition's doing as well. You mentioned risk assessments, contingency planning, basically good methods for preparing for something. Yeah.
Mhm.
If you're not doing that as a company, but your competitors are, what do you think is going to happen to your business
Well, obviously there are huge risks.
if the what if scenario materializes and comes into effect?
Yes, well, I mean, obviously, leaving the European Union is a huge issue for business in the UK. And Amelia, thank you very much indeed for giving us some insight into what you're doing to prepare businesses for this eventuality.
It's a pleasure.